Your coccyx is leaking creative energy due to a subtle angular misalignment that you can correct. An almost imperceptible shift at the base of your spine keeps your nervous system in a state of chronic alertness, forcing your breathing to become shallow, your voice to lose resonance, and your energy to scatter before it can support any intention. The coccyx acts as a seal for your energy field. When this bone loses its neutral angle, internal pressure escapes, and you operate with only a fraction of the presence you're meant to have. 3 micro adjustments realign this base in 90 seconds and close the invisible drain that's been consuming your life force. When the hidden angle is corrected, the transformation is noticeable. Exhalation flows deep into the lower abdomen. Warmth rises through your feet, tension releases from your lower back, and your vocal tone gains depth. The seal is restored, and your connection to the creative source is re-established through the realignment of your foundation. Keep watching the video and you'll learn a complete ritual that seals this leak and reconnects your intention to the power of manifesting what you desire. The hidden angle that drains your vital energy remains unnoticed because it operates through microscopic compensations you've never been taught to recognize. The base of your spine holds an energetic regulation point that determines whether internal pressure is preserved or silently dispersed. When this point loses its natural orientation, a constant leak sets in, draining your vitality before it reaches your intentions, your words, your actions. You'll be given a precise diagnostic system based on 3 physical indicators that instantly reveal when the leak is active: the ability to sustain a prolonged exhalation, the distribution of temperature in your lower limbs, and the resonant quality of your voice in lower registers. These markers work like an internal scanner, detecting in real time when your energy is being hijacked by a misaligned base. Restoration happens through 3 sequential micro-adjustments that bring your bone structure back to its original angle. Locating the proprioceptive neutral, correcting micro-rotation, and sealing through targeted vibrational stimulation. The complete ritual takes 90 seconds of conscious application, and each movement will be demonstrated with pinpoint accuracy so you can apply it right away. The physical transformation confirms its effectiveness through changes that arise as you go through the practice. The origin of this misalignment can be traced back to compensatory patterns that develop over years of unconscious adaptation to accumulated physical and emotional tension. Micro-misalignments at the body's foundation create cascading effects that travel through the myofascial chains, forcing distant muscles to compensate for instabilities that should have been resolved in the pelvis. Stephen Porges demonstrated through the polyvagal theory how signals from the pelvic region travel upward via the vagus nerve to the brainstem, determining whether the entire nervous system operates in safety mode or in defense. When the pelvis sends signals of structural instability, the vagus nerve interprets it as a threat and triggers defensive responses that affect breathing, digestion, and emotional regulation. Robert Schleip mapped how fascial tension spreads through continuous connective networks, showing that changes at the base can reach the skull within seconds. Hermetic tradition recognizes this phenomenon through the principle of solve, et coagula, dissolving crystallized patterns to allow reorganization at a higher state. Thomas Myers documented the anatomical continuities that connect the coccyx, sacrum, lumbar spine, diaphragm, and cranial base in integrated force transmission lines. Bessel van der Kolk revealed how traumatic memories crystallize in specific muscular contractions that keep the system in a state of constant alertness. Contemporary neuroscience confirms that the pelvis acts as a center of gravity not only physically, but neurologically, constantly sending information about structural stability to higher processing centers. The first sign appears through the quality of your voice when producing sounds in a mid or low register. A dull voice indicates that the air column lacks proper support from the base, forcing the sound to be produced only through the upper structures of the throat and oral cavity. When the coccyx is misaligned, the pelvic floor muscles cannot provide the support needed for breathing to sustain the voice with density and presence. The tone becomes flat, lacking body and missing the vibration that should resonate in the chest and abdominal cavity. Try it now. Let out a prolonged "or" in a conversational tone and notice whether there is substance in the sound or if it feels empty, shallow, and disconnected from the center of your body. The second sign shows up as an inability to complete full breathing cycles. When the breath doesn't travel downward, it signals that the diaphragm is compensating due to instability sensed at the body's base. The exhalation stops before fully emptying the lungs because there's not enough structural support to allow the respiratory muscle to fully relax. Notice your next exhale. Does it reach the bottom of your abdomen, or does it stop around the rib cage? When the base is integrated, the exhalation naturally travels down to the pelvis, creating a sense of full release and deep relaxation. The third sign is located in the lumbosacral region, between the lower ribs and the sacrum. Tension in the lumbosacral area reveals chronic muscular compensation, where muscles that should remain relaxed stay in constant contraction to make up for a lack of tone at the base. This tension arises because the body tries to create stability in the lower back when it cannot find it in the coccyx and sacrum. The paraspinal muscles, the quadratus lumborum, and the deep pelvic muscles become overloaded, trying to compensate for the absence of proper structural organization. Correction happens through 3 micro-adjustments that realign the coccyx without forcing abrupt structural changes. The first micro-adjustment establishes the support neutral by precisely locating the ischial bones on the surface you're sitting on. Sit at the edge of a firm chair and identify the 2 pointed bones at the base of your pelvis. These are your ischial tuberosities. Gently shift your position until both bones make equal contact with the surface without favoring one side. This bilateral balance is essential because it signals to the nervous system that your foundation is stable and symmetrical. When the weight on the ischial bones is unevenly distributed, the coccyx automatically shifts to compensate, creating the misalignment that drains your energy. Hold this position and take 5 breaths, allowing your body to register this new structural organization. The second micro-adjustment applies the microspiral to detect and correct imperceptible rotational asymmetries. From the established neutral position, create a subtle intention to rotate the tip of your coccyx slightly to the right, holding for 15 seconds. Notice which side feels more resistant. This is the stiff side holding chronic tension. Return to center and repeat the motion to the left. The side that moves more easily indicates compensatory looseness. Hold the rotation for 15 seconds on the opposite side of the stiffer one to balance the tension. The third micro-adjustment performs the ceiling lock through a tiny posterior tilt combined with vagal stimulation. On your exhalation, tilt your pelvis 2 to 3 millimeters back, as if gently tucking the coccyx downward. At the same time, place your tongue on the roof of your mouth and hum a low for 15 seconds, feeling the vibration descend into your chest and pelvis. This combination activates neurological pathways that seal your energy field. The restoration of energetic integrity produces unmistakable signs that confirm the leak has been closed through measurable involuntary reflexes. A spontaneous sigh emerges when the vagus nerve detects that structural stability has returned, allowing the body to finally release chronic defense patterns. This sigh is not consciously controlled. It simply happens as an automatic neurological response to the realignment of your base. A yawn may also appear during or right after the micro-adjustments, signaling that your nervous system is transitioning from a state of alertness to a state of restoration. These reflexes confirm that signals from the pelvis have shifted from instability to structural safety. Changes in peripheral circulation indicate genuine parasympathetic activation through the progressive warming of your extremities. Distal warmth begins to emerge in your feet, toes, and perineal region once your cardiovascular system receives signals that it can release defensive vasoconstriction. When your base is misaligned, the body maintains reduced blood flow to the extremities as part of its protective response. Restoring alignment allows blood flow to return to distal regions, creating a warming sensation that you can clearly perceive. This warmth may take anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes to fully appear. Changes in your vocal quality reveal proper support of the air column through immediate shifts in tone. A voice that sounds half a tone fuller emerges when the realignment of your base allows the diaphragm to function with proper structural support. The difference is instantly noticeable. Try emitting the R again and observe how your tone now carries density, presence, and resonance that weren't there before. This vocal change confirms that your energy is no longer leaking from the base and can now support your expression with structural integrity. Tamsin had been working as a body therapist for 15 years when, at the age of 52, she realized her own body was betraying her ability to sustain presence during sessions. While working with clients, she experienced an unexplained fatigue that didn't match the physical effort involved, as if something inside her was constantly draining her energy before it could even reach her hands. Her voice came out dull when giving instructions, her breath never completed full cycles, and her lower back held chronic tension that no technique could release. It was during a break between clients that she noticed the pattern sitting on the edge of the massage table. She realized she was placing more weight on her right ischium, always favoring that side. Curious, she applied the 3 micro-adjustments she had recently learned. First, she found the neutral point where both ischial bones pressed evenly into the surface. Then, she discovered that the left side of her coccyx was stiffer, and she held a gentle rotation to the right for 15 seconds. Finally, she performed the subtle posterior tilt while humming a low sound. The transformation was immediate and measurable. A deep sigh emerged spontaneously. Warmth began circulating through her feet, and when she tested her voice, the tone came out with a depth she hadn't felt in years. In her next sessions, her presence held effortlessly. Her hands carried more sensitivity, and clients remarked on a different quality in the energy she transmitted. Tamsin had discovered that the key to sustaining therapeutic energy was literally in the base of her own body. Your body will initially resist when you try to shift compensatory patterns it has maintained for years or even decades. This resistance is not stubbornness. It is intelligent defense, preserving structures that were once essential for stability when there was no better alternative. The nervous system interprets sudden changes as potential threats and activates protective mechanisms that can reinforce the very tension you're trying to release. The key lies in a precise approach that honors the tissue's adaptive wisdom. Small, intentional movements allow the body to test the new organization without triggering defensive alarms. When you respect the time each micro-adjustment needs to integrate, the nervous system gradually recognizes that the new configuration offers greater stability than the old pattern. Your body genuinely wants to realign. It simply needs to trust that the new arrangement is more sustainable than the previous compensation. Precision in movement signals to the nervous system that this is not a forced intervention, but a conscious reorganization that improves structural integrity. Something fundamental is restored when energetic integrity returns to your body. Your breath is no longer just a biological function. It becomes a direct channel between intention and manifestation. Your voice now carries the authority of someone speaking from an integrated center, no longer from compensations that scatter your presence. The energetic field around you becomes denser, because there are no longer any leaks draining your life force before it reaches where it's needed. Your prayers gain real grounding. Your decisions carry somatic weight. Your projects sprout from fertile soil instead of trying to grow in barren ground. The silent drain that once consumed your creative energy comes to a definitive end, revealing a reservoir of vitality you had forgotten you possessed. As neuroscientist Antonio Damasio once said, consciousness begins when the brain gains the power to tell a story. Your realigned body now tells a story of integrity instead of fragmentation, of support instead of dispersion. Every spontaneous sigh confirms that you have shifted from a state of compensatory survival to a state of energetic prosperity. The body temple has returned to its original function as an alchemical vessel where energy is gathered instead of lost. You've rediscovered what it means to fully inhabit your own presence, not as a concept, but as a measurable somatic reality, confirmed with every breath, every word, every conscious gesture. The hidden angle has been corrected, integrity has been restored, and your creative energy has finally found its natural flow through the structural base of your being. If this video resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps us expand this ancestral somatic knowledge even further. I truly want to know how you experience the effects of the micro adjustments in your own body. Write in the comments. I realign the angle of my coccyx and reconnect to the creative source. This affirmation seals your intention to stop the invisible leak that drains your vital energy. Share this video with someone you know needs to discover where their energy is being silently hijacked. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformational video on the channel. Every piece of embodied knowledge brings you closer to the integrity you were born to sustain. Remember, when you realign the base of your body temple, your entire presence reorganizes and your life force stops dispersing, so it can finally support your true manifestations.